On TikTok. Let's get it, guys. We're talking some MLB baseball today, and we have NFL to look ahead to, man. We gotta look ahead to Week 6. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are good days to look ahead for college football and NFL. Today we could talk some NFL. What up, Jose? How you doing, brother? What do you have today? We could talk about it. I have 2 official plays already went out. I have 2 official plays that already went out, but we could talk about it. We can talk about the games today. What do you think about the Yankees today? Yeah, definitely got some opinion on the Yankees. I'm assuming, sure, you guys want to talk about MLB. Before you guys ask the same questions about hockey, I know hockey's back today, guys. Congrats to those of you guys that are experiencing a hockey season and you guys actually watch it and enjoy it. Hope it's a good season for you guys. I genuinely hope it's a good season for you guys. I dabble with hockey here and there, and maybe when I do have some free time, like days like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I do have a little hockey model that maybe I could do some upgrades to. I know the biggest thing with hockey is that I couldn't really find good sources, good databases to automate from, but I'm gonna put some work into it and see if I could come up with something for you guys so we can have something for hockey days as well. NBA's around the corner too. NBA season is 2 weeks away, guys. October 21st is the start of the NBA season. I do NBA. I do MLB, of course, and you guys know me for college football and NFL. It was a sweaty weekend. Everything we had to work for. We had to work for everything. We ended up down a little bit, not a whole lot. So it's not the end of the world, guys. It was a really back and forth weekend. Win one, lost one, won one, last one. It is what it is. We can take those, though. We are down this last week. This last week is going to go down as a college football week loss and a NFL week loss. But that's okay because, again, NFL has been on a stupid heater. We are 26-7. 26-7 on our last 34. On our last 33 NFL plays. College football, we're eating with that too, man. And don't look now, but guys, you guys are excited about hockey and NBA and stuff. We have mid-season college football coming up that I enjoy a lot. I like MACtion. I know a lot of people don't like MACtion or Conference USA. Those games are coming up on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I actually follow the MACtion the MAC pretty close, and I have a good feel for them. So we had a stretch last year when we were like 10-0, 11-0 on those MAC games. And everybody's like, what the hell? How do you know about these MAC games? Yeah, I follow those pretty closely. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. If you guys want to join the Discord, link is in bio. Let's go. Jays, Thursday Night Football. We can talk about it. Let's talk about some MLB first. What's my favorite sport to pick on, to make picks on? Absolutely NFL. NFL, bro. It is WWE. There's a script to it. Not necessarily like it's fake or rigged. But they're like, you follow a storyline. You follow the storylines, and you could do really good with NFL. Okay, the X's and O's is a good part of it too, but it's only one part of it. Some people focus too much on this and too much on that. I like it to look at the overall picture, and one of the things that I emphasize on with NFL is if you follow storylines, you'll do pretty good. You know where I'm talking about, like scheduling spots or look ahead spots. You really got to have all that stuff. I heard the Jays sweep today. We could talk about it. Prediction for Thursday Night Football. All right, man. Looks like you guys are excited about, let's see, Tigers. Goat says he's got the Tigers. Another goat in here. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it real quick. Who did I take in MLB? If you're in the Discord, that my plays are in official picks. But let's go ahead and talk about these games. I'll give you a side on the side and the total as well for each of these games, and then we'll talk some NFL real quick, man. Let's get to it like it's not into it, guys. This game is supposed to start. Let me know when it starts so I can switch over to it. I want to watch it too. Give me red. Let me see what side what are you on here? There we go. Red for the Mariners, blue for the Tigers. What side are you on today? We're talking about the side first, and then we'll talk about the total. Red for the Mariners, blue for the Tigers. This is Logan Gilbert making a start here on the road against Jack Flaherty. Who do you guys have on this one, man? Red for the Mariners, blue for the Tigers. Cast your votes. Hope you guys appreciate it, man. I'm over here trying to put in the work every single day. It's hard. It's hard to do this 7 days a week, guys. That's why a lot of people try it. A lot of people think they're capable of it. But a lot of people fail. A ton of people fail at this, man. especially when you have the weight of hundreds on your shoulder too, man. It's not easy to do it, but I'm out here every single day. I hope you guys appreciate it. Hit the follow button if you do, and then if you want to join the Discord, link is in bio. The Mariners are on the road here for Game 3 of this 5-game series, divisional series here against the Tigers. Logan Gilbert is on one side. Jack Flaherty's on the other side. Excuse me. Coming into this game, guys, Gilbert is pitching very well. Jack Flaherty's not pitching so bad either, though. But definitely the edge goes to Logan Gilbert. Are you okay, bro? My dog's over here gasping. Yeah, he's good. Logan Gilbert, he's given up 7 runs over his last 26 innings. That's a 2.4 ERA. Tigers pitcher Jack Flaherty, he's coming into this one giving up 9 runs over 22 innings, a 3.6 ERA. So definitely an edge there for Seattle's pitcher. But here's where you really have an edge is Logan Gilbert on the road. He's been pitching very good on the road. If you look at his last 3 games, his last 4 games have been pretty good. He's given up, in 3 games, he's given up 4 runs. 4 runs over 17 innings. If you zoom out a little bit more, he was getting rocked a little bit. If you zoom out like 4, 5, 6 games ago, he was getting hit. But in his recent away games, in his road games, he's been pretty good. The same cannot be said for Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty at home has not been good. He's given up a perfect 25 runs in 25 innings. That's going to be a 9.0 ERA at home in his last 5 games here. Actually, hold up. This is not adding up, right, man? Sorry, guys. I had to make like a little basic model for the playoffs. So it is 18 runs given up in 25 innings. 18 runs given up in 25 innings. That's a 6.48 ERA. Okay, a 6.48 ERA. Excuse me. So the edge, guys, the edge does go to Logan Gilbert. You do have the better starting pitcher with Seattle. You do have the better bats with Seattle. You do have a really good lineup. In fact, the number 1 lineup with Seattle on the road. Their offense on the road was the number 1 offense over the last 30 days. Detroit's offense at home was not that good, especially to close out the season. You do have a pitcher with Logan Gilbert that has some career experience in the playoff. Not a whole lot. 3 runs given up in 5 innings in the playoffs. Let's see, guys, real quick. Bullpen-wise, you have an edge with the Seattle bullpen, too. The Seattle bullpen in the playoffs has been much better. Detroit's been a little bit hittable, especially in that series against Cleveland. I think I have a better lineup in the playoffs as well. In the playoffs, Seattle's hitting a little bit better than Detroit. I think the right side to be on here is the Mariners, guys. It would be the Mariners for me. Let me see what you guys said. Looks like you guys are on the Mariners as well. Let me... what time does the game start? It's supposed to start... I saw 5:40 was the last start time. Let me know when it starts, guys. Castillo is pitching for Seattle. Unless there's a pitching change, bro. That would be a major change. What are you talking about? No, Logan Gilbert, bro. Logan Gilbert is the starter here. Jack Flaherty and Logan Gilbert. Let me see. Are you looking at tomorrow, bro? What do you... Oh, tomorrow's Bryce Miller versus Casey Mize. I don't know what you're looking at, brother. The Mariners are 1-6 in rain delays. Bro, that is crazy. Where did you get that from? That is interesting. I don't even know how you do that. They're replaying the last game. Yo, my man, you funny, bro. You what time does the game start? It should be starting any moment now. Let me know when it does start, guys. Did you already go over on the Blue Jays game? No, we're about to talk about it, guys. Yankee score. Just hurry up and tell us your picks. God damn, somebody's in a bad mood today. You changed. How did I change, brother? Let me know. You got to pay to be in the Discord? Yes. There's 2 sides to the Discord. There's a free side. I give you one of my top plays for free every single day. And then there is a paid side. There's a premium side to the Discord. Who did you take in MLB? That is on the premium side today. All right. Real quick, guys. Before this game starts, let's talk about the over and under for this game real quick. So that way you guys can get a good opinion for what I like. Give me red for the over. I'm talking about Mariners versus Tigers. Red for the over, blue for the under. This line is at 8, a flat 8. Red for the over, blue for the under. What side of the total are you guys on here? with Jack Flaherty pitching for Detroit, Logan Gilbert pitching for Seattle. Hit the follow button, guys, if it's your first time here. Do not miss out on these streams. We're out here cooking every single day, man. Like I've told you all several times, man. You don't know if I'm coming off of a good day or a bad day. It don't matter. That's because I've done this for a long time professionally. I've done this for a long time, man. I can brush off a bad day. Yesterday, I got caught with the bad beat, man. I got caught with the bad beat. But like I said, man, you got to shake it off. You got to brush it off somehow, some way. There was 24 points scored in that fourth quarter of the NFL game yesterday. I had the same game the teaser. I had that thing at 51. So I needed to stay under 51, and they scored 24 points in the fourth quarter. They just popped off. It was a different game. Turnovers, man, turnovers. What up, lady? How you doing? Ashka was up on YouTube. Let me check in on YouTube real quick, guys. I haven't checked on them. Oh, I didn't even update my the thing. Oh well, too late now. All right, so let's talk about the over/under for Seattle versus Detroit. So guys, this one for me looks so Jack Flaherty. So with him pitching the way he has pitched, I can't really back an under. He's been getting rocked, especially at home. He has been getting rocked at home, and now he's facing a Seattle lineup that's really good. Let me pull up my MLB model so I can show you guys how bad it's been. Oh shit! 1 second. What did I just do? It's Seattle that worries me. Their offense could hit, especially on the road. God, what did I just do with my model? And I'm supposed to be the IT guy. There we go. All right. So Seattle versus Detroit, you have an edge here for Seattle, and in terms of offense, their offense get hit. To close out the season, they were ranked 4th in the last 14 days. They were ranked number 1 over the last 30 days. And Detroit was pretty cold to end the season, but we see them starting to hit here. We see them starting to pile up some offense. I gotta lean with the over here. I think these bullpens are hittable. I think Seattle can put up some runs. Detroit is starting to put up some runs. Jack Flaherty not pitching as good as he should be. I think the over is the right side here between the Tigers and the Mariners. Looks like you guys say this was a tie. You guys are not feeling either one. You said red. Did I mix it up? Sorry, brother. Yankees, you guys ready to talk about some Yankees? Let's go then. Y'all got anything else on Mariners versus Tigers before we move on to the next one? Yeah, I definitely still. Yeah, I forgot to update the YouTube link. Sorry about that, guys. But we are streaming, even though it says Monday. It is Tuesday. It is. We are talking about the Tuesday slate here. You guys are feeling. Wicked is feeling Detroit. Okay. The line is 7.5. It might have moved since the rain delay, but I saw this thing close at 8. That's the last thing I recorded it at. Yeah, I'm feeling the over here. I'm feeling the over here. That's the way I would be going. Let's talk about some Blue Jays and Yankees, man. What are we doing with this game tonight? Give me blue for the Blue Jays. Give me red for the Yankees. What side are you on? It is Shane Bieber pitching for the Blue Jays. Carlos Rodon is pitching for the Yankees. Come on, guys. Blue for the Blue Jays. Red for the Yankees. Guys, if this is your first time here, we are cooking it up together, man. This is an exchange of information, okay? We are in the lab. We are cooking it up, okay? I prefer coming on here and thinking out loud, talking out loud, and sharing information with you guys, and I hope you guys are finding it useful. If you have some information on this game, on any of these games we talk about, share it, man. Share it with the squad. Red for the Yankees, blue for the Blue Jays. Let's talk about the side on this game real quick. Toronto versus the Yankees. This line opened up 150 in favor of the Yankees at home. I have this thing up to minus 160 at this point now. 63% of the public is on Toronto, however. So that is interesting there, that the line is moving in favor of the Yankees, but the public's on Toronto. But I've seen this all year with the Yankees. The Yankees have been one of these teams where, even though the market is kind of indicating that they are the right side, I have seen them not come through. Let's talk about the starting pitching matchup here. Shane Bieber pitching pretty good. Both of these guys pitching pretty good in their last 5 games. Very identical. A 3.1 ERA for Carlos Rodon. A 4.1 ERA in the last 5 games for Shane Bieber. Same thing on the road. Shane Bieber only started 3 games on the road this season. Let's see. Hold up. This number's not updating here. He's given up 8 runs in his last 18 innings. 8 runs in his last 18 innings. That's a 4.0 ERA. For Carlos Rodon, he's given up 11 runs in his last 30 innings. 11 runs in his last 30. So both of these guys coming into this one kind of identical. Kind of a wash here at starting pitching. In terms of batting average and batting statistics in the playoff right now, the Yankees and Toronto are hitting. These teams are hitting. The Blue Jays are number 1 in the postseason so far. The Yankees are number 4 in the postseason so far in terms of offense generated in the first few games here of the postseason. So you have the Yankees facing elimination here, down 0-2, and playing their first game here in Yankee Stadium. With Carlos Rodon on the mound, he's a guy that has a lot of experience. He's given up 18 runs in 36 postseason innings, so he has 36 innings under his belt for the postseason. Shane Bieber made kind of a late start to the season. We only saw him come in like two months ago, if you guys recall. Guys, I hate to go back to the Yankees because I know they've been really frustrating to play on really all year. Not just lately, but really all year. But I think the right side here is the Yankees. Let me see what you said, man. I don't trust a man named Beaver. Okay, there you go, man. Like I said, this is an exchange of information, man. That's good information there, my man. So don't trust a guy named Bieber. Holy hell, I haven't seen you in weeks. TikTok algorithm hiding you, bro. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I'm out here grinding every single day, man. But I did ask about you the other day, Gay. I ain't see you in a while, man. Let's get it, guys. Hit the follow button, and guys, I guess I have not really been announcing my live streams because these start times have been all crazy. We're starting at 3 p.m. sometimes, 8 p.m. other days. I would suggest hit the bell icon on my profile. Hit the bell icon so you know when I'm live. Okay. So yeah, I haven't been consistent with my live streams. But yeah, hit the bell icon, guys, so you can see when I'm live. The Yankees win this game. Okay, Fagan says the Yankees win this game. I think we agree there. Jerome says take the Blue Jays. I'm not going to talk you off of it, man. You're getting some serious plus money here. But yo, when you have one game on tonight that everybody's going to be watching between the Blue Jays and the Yankees, and you have the public taking the Blue Jays, but the line is moving in favor of the Yankees, I think that's a little telling here, man. Am I going to talk you off of it? No, because the Blue Jays have been like kind of that magical team so far. They've kind of had that to them all season long. Meanwhile, the Yankees are opposite. They're a team that, you know, a lot of times a lot of numbers and a lot of the model will point to the Yankees, and they just still do not come through. So yeah, I'm not going to talk you off the Toronto Blue Jays if that's what you're on, brother. Just Great Nate says take the Yankees 1.5. Brother, you don't have to lay the 1.5. And in a tight game like this too, these are division rivals, and in a tight game in the playoffs with only 7.5 or 8 runs projected, I would seriously suggest look into doing the -1. Okay, you could do the -1 run line on any book. Okay, don't tell me you can't do it on any book, because you can do it on any book. If you have DraftKings and DK, you can already do it automatically. If you don't have DK, you could do it. You can Google the run line calculator. Google the run line calculator, and it'll tell you how much to put on 1.5 and how much to put on the straight up win. And it'll calculate the -1 for you. That way, if you only win by 1, you get a push. I don't like that 1.5 with the home team. Let's see, what else are you guys saying? Over easy, we can talk about it, man. Oh, I didn't know there's a bell icon. Yeah, a lot of people don't know. On TikTok, there is a bell icon. It'll notify you when I'm live. What about the Jays number? Jays. Allo, stop. Come here, boy. Okay. I mean, what's the 1.5 at? Toronto 1.5 might be at a decent price, but if it's just the 1, I don't like the +1. I would want the 1.5. Do you do picks on hockey? Yeah, I just talked about that earlier. I dabble. I dabble with hockey. There are certain spots I like. I do have a hockey model. It really needs a lot of work. I can when I'm gonna have some downtime, and I will be doing some upgrades to the NHL model, and I will be talking some hockey with you guys, man. Come on. But like I said, we also have college football midweek college football coming around the corner. We got NBA around the corner too. So I will try my best to help you guys with hockey, man. All right, man. What about them Jags not covering? They did cover, brother. They won the game. What game were you watching? Mariners and the ML. Yeah, we talked about the side and the total in that game. I think Mariners is the right side there. I love the Yankees first 5. That would make sense, brother. If you don't trust that that bullpen, I'm not shocked. But really, it's both of those bullpens. Both of those bullpens have been hit, but I would say Toronto's bullpen is probably a little bit more reliable, given that Luke Weaver doesn't play on that team, and given that Toronto was up big. They were up big when they when the Yankees got a lot of runs on them on Sunday. So, yay, 150, brother. I'm not paying 150 for that. You're better off taking the +1 or taking the straight up win, in my opinion. You guys ready to talk about the over/under? Let's go. You were on Mahomes nuts. I know you said not to take Jaguars at 5.5 when I asked. So I remember you said Jags 5.5, and I said that sounds juicy, as in you're paying too much juice for that. Okay, if you're bumping a line from 3.5 to 5.5, you're doing it wrong. You're paying way too much juice on that case. Okay, was I on Mahomes nuts? I don't think I was. If you're referring to the video I made, my video starts with the narrative. The narrative yesterday was Mahomes has never lost to the Jaguars. He owns the Jaguars. And 5 seconds into the video, I said, "But hold your horses. Are we not giving the Jaguars enough credit?" So I don't know. I don't know if you're watching the same game or watching the same videos. I said Jags straight up yesterday. Congrats about that. Good call with that, man. Good call with that. I knew Jags were the right side, and I told the Discord I like the Jaguars. I ended up combining it in a teaser with the under, and like I said. It wasn't under the whole way. It wasn't under for 3 quarters. And the last quarter, it was just crazy. 2 turnovers, a pick 6, and a turnover that put the Chiefs in the red zone. That's just bad luck, man. And how can you really cap? I was thinking about, like, how can I really include that in my cap? Can you really include giveaways and takeaways in the cap? They're so random. Like, I don't know. I already knew Trevor Lawrence is not really trustworthy, you know? He'd really, pass interference or not, you shouldn't be throwing the ball and risking an interception like that in the 4th quarter. Chris Jones was just standing there, bro. Did you see that? And that wasn't the only one. Who was the other one? On that same drive, I think the Jaguars. There was another Chiefs defender that I thought had a clear lane to the quarterback, and he kind of just pulled up. I don't know. Weird, brother. No, you're just shady. I don't know what you mean, Coles, but if you want to be disrespectful, go ahead, brother. I got a whole group of guys here that are actually out here working with me every single day. I've never seen your name in my life. Yesterday, if you said 5.5, congrats, brother. Congrats. I just wouldn't recommend putting that much juice on any play, okay? If you're going to buy a half point through a key number, okay, that makes sense. But if you're just going to randomly just bump up Jags 3.5 up to 5.5 and I don't know what else to tell you, brother. Has the game started yet? I don't know. I need you guys to let me know when the game starts. Guys, we haven't talked about the over/under. Let's talk about the over/under real quick. Thank you, Devil Dog, man. All right, let's talk about the over/under between Toronto and the Yankees, guys. Enough talk about NFL. Let's talk about the over/under. Give me red for the over, blue for the Yankees, for the under. Excuse me. Red for the over, blue for the under. Is it on right now? Let me switch over, guys. I did see that weather in Detroit was going to push this game back a little bit. Red for the over, blue for the under between the Yankees and the Blue Jays game. How are you guys playing this? Because this one's interesting for sure. Oh, yeah, they are still showing Luis Castillo. Red for the over, blue for the Yankees. Why do I keep saying that? Red for the over, blue for the under. Excuse me. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. Out here cooking every single day, man. All right, let's talk about the over/under between Toronto and the Yankees. All right, guys. So we have two pitchers here, man. That I mean, really, can we really start anywhere else except the lineup? These lineups are hot, yo. Toronto, the Yankees, both of them. Like I said, out of all the playoff teams, they are two of the top four teams. Toronto's number one. The Yankees are number four out of the whole playing field here in the postseason. All 12 teams. They are number one and number four. So these are two hot lineups, especially with Toronto. And now they got to travel for Game 3 to Yankee Stadium in the Bronx there. That's a small stadium. And don't look now, but the weather is also helping the over in the Yankees game. You have a plus 21% chance of home run according to Ballpark Pal. So you're supposed to see more home runs there. You have two pitchers that are kind of shaky here. Carlos Rodon at home. He does get hit a little bit more. He's given up 11 runs in his last 30 innings. Carlos Rodon has. Shane Bieber, same thing. He's given up 8 runs over 18 innings. That's a 4.0 ERA as well. Definitely hittable here. Let me see. Do I have the... so the way they ended the season, and that's why I had to make 2 models. My model's not... The data points I use don't update on the postseason. That's why I had to go make another one. But for the Yankees, you have a team that's smacking righties. Okay, Shane Bieber's a righty. Yankees are smacking righties. They are the third best team against righties so far this year. And like I said, Toronto's the hotter lineup. So I'm expecting Yankees to get some run off of Shane Bieber because they're smacking righties pretty well. And Shane Bieber, I would expect him to give up some runs to the Yankees lineup as well. So, sorry. Shane Bieber, the righty, I would expect the Yankees to get some runs off of him. Sorry, I'm distracted by the game. Toronto, because they're the hottest lineup in the playoffs so far, I would expect them to get some runs off of Carlos Rodon as well. I'm liking the over between this game. I'm feeling the over between the Blue Jays and the Yankees. I know that's not a hot take. I think everybody's on the over. I am seeing 91% of the tickets on the over. Let me see what you guys are saying. One person took the under. Everybody else is on the over today. I will say, though, at least the market is respecting that all the tickets on the over. This line moved from 7.5 up to 8, okay? Despite 90% of the tickets on the over, okay? This is a small park. The wind is not helping the under. You have pitchers that are hittable, and you have two of the hottest lineups. You have two bullpens that so far have been pretty shaky. I think 8 is way too small. I think this is an over. My line is 8. Yeah, same here. How do you feel about Vlad Guerrero? Vlad Guerrero has been he's been a menace. He's been a menace for the Yankees. I think Vlad is a good guy to target on the Jays. Yankees and Jays over 5.5. Are you combining that with something? Because I saw that earlier. That's like minus 300 or something. Nah, he's going to get his case. Who is? What up, broski? How you doing, Dabby? Hope you're having a good day, man. Hope all of you guys are having a good day. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. If you're watching me on YouTube, give me the subscribe button. Give me the thumbs up. My man Jonathan on YouTube says, I don't see how you don't include takeaways. Turnovers are a huge part of the game. So I include turnover margin, right? So turnover margin, that is the Jaguars number 1. The Chiefs were number 6. So that's when I'm looking at the side. I was referring to the total if I wasn't clear. How does that incorporate into the total? Because turnovers are really random to begin with, right? You don't know when they'll happen. And the other part of that is you don't know what part of the field it'll happen, right? If you get a turnover like Trevor Lawrence at the 1-inch line, right? Those are 7 points that are coming off the board, right? Versus if you turn the ball over on the other side of the field, you know, they can lead to points versus they can not lead to points. I'm just talking about the total. Like, how can you really incorporate that into the total? It's kind of what I'm saying. I'm having a good day, and I'm glad to hear that. How many Ks for each pitchers? I'm not a big strikeout guy, but if you have a pitcher that you're tracking, I can try to guide you in the right direction. Salty says, do you like Logan Gilbert to go under his Ks? I think Seattle here, having lost one of their games at home and needing to regain home field advantage here against a weaker Detroit lineup. I would expect Logan Gilbert to go several innings here too. I don't like under his Ks. No, I don't like under his Ks. I would expect him to get his Ks. When is Mariners supposed to start? It has already started, brother. We have there are 2 guys on in scoring position right now for the Mariners. Oh, the Tigers, excuse me. We're at the top of the second already? No. Oh, this is definitely a replay, bro. So this game hasn't started yet? Wow, this thing got me. So whoever said they were showing a replay, yeah, they definitely got me right now. Mariners versus Tigers, unless there's another channel. What's the update on this, guys? Still delayed. Yeah, still hasn't started. I'm over here looking at the replay. You're like Luis Castillo's pitching. Man watching Scooball. I'm not even paying attention. I just saw the score. And it's 0-0, so I assumed. It's not BW Rex. That got me too, brother. You never read the tube. Yo, Jonathan, I just talked about your comment, bro. Oh, my God. You wanna... All right, brother. All right, man. 7:38? Delay till 7:30? Wow. Wrong game. Wow. Yeah, I knew that the rain was supposed to push the game back. I didn't expect them to push back that hard. That's crazy. I know, I'm looking at Luis Castillo. I'm not looking at Scooball. Guys, hit the follow button. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. If you guys want to join the Discord, link is in bio. I actually do read the comments on YouTube. I actually read them first. So, how many innings for Rodon today? I would expect. You can't really trust that bullpen, but it's an elimination game. As soon as he gets in trouble, I think they pull him. I think they have to pull him. I think the manager, his seat is hot right now. I think his seat is hot right now, and you can't risk it with an elimination game here. I think you have to go to your bullpen as soon as possible. So consider perhaps going under in pitching outs or whatever. However you guys want to play this. I was gonna say nice little line. I was Toronto team total 1.5. First 5 at 125. Toronto team total over 1.5 in the first 5. I'm okay with that. I could expect Carlos Rodon to give up some runs. I could expect Shane Bieber to give up some runs too. When will the Mariners game? So apparently 7:30. This thing has been pushed back to 7:30 Eastern time. All the way from, what time was that? The original time was 4:08 Eastern time. So they're pushing this thing back 3 hours. NHL picks. I don't have anything for today, but I do have a hockey model that I will be doing some upgrades to, and maybe I can help you guys with that in the future, man. The scoreless first inning. Thomas says, would you take the scoreless first inning on what game? The Yankees game? No. I'd be scared. I'd be scared to take the scoreless first inning in that game. I'd prefer it a little bit in the other game, the Seattle versus Detroit game. But I'm not sure I really trust those pitchers either. Giants plus 10 on Thursday Night Football. We can talk about that. Over in both games. Yes, I did say over in both games, actually. I did say over in both games, yes. Scoreless first inning. Are you still talking about the first inning? Because now you're putting that extra I in there. I don't even know what it is. Yes, Mr. Fight. They're not going to pitch to Guerrero. They're going to walk him. That's true. They can pitch around him. Mariners today after the delay. We talked about both the side and the total. Yes, I think the Mariners is the right side. Y'all want to talk some NFL, man? This is the time when we really should be talking NFL. We should be looking ahead. We should be trying to find some value, and if we find it, shoot, lock it in. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. Y'all have anything else for MLB? Last call for MLB, and then we'll switch to NFL. NFL Week 6 already, man. Week 6, guys. This season is way too short. No runs in the third inning. No runs in the third inning. You're talking about Seattle versus Detroit. Like I said, if you were going to take any under, I think it's obvious that Seattle versus Detroit is the one that's a little bit more comfortable to take the under. I still kind of lean the over. If you're going to pick and choose the innings, yes, a second inning or a third inning is the better innings to go scoreless. And if you're doing it in Seattle versus Detroit, go for it, brother. Roberto says, I have Tigers straight up to win. What do you think? I'm not going to talk you off of it, brother, because you do have Detroit getting their first home playoff game of the year. And I think for first home playoff game in a while. So I think, they could be pretty riled up there in Detroit. I'm not going to talk you off of it. It seems like these dogs are both capable today, right? The Blue Jays. Tigers showed some fight against that Cleveland series, and then they went into Seattle when nobody expected them to win in game one, and they came out with the win. If you're on either of these dogs, I'm not going to talk you off of it, but to me, it does look like it would be Seattle and the Yankees for me. What was the poll total for your over-under for Seattle? I don't have that, brother. I don't have that. Tigers and Cubs are similar. The bats are asleep. Yeah. With Cubs just came into the season, came into the postseason. They were a 500 ball club after the All-Star break, so they weren't really coming into this one pretty crazy. No, it's a dog Tuesday. You think so, Lewis? Wait, I have something for MLB. What do you have, brother? I don't have the poll total. Sorry. I have the last poll total we did. That was the Toronto Blue Jays over-under. Looks like, yeah, everybody was on the over. Everybody was on the over. Guys, hit the follow button if it's your first time here. Do not miss out on these streams. If you guys want to join the Discord, link is in bio. If the link doesn't work for you, press and hold the link and open in browser. That should work for you, man. I feel like the Tigers are going to want to win this game, especially being back home and already getting a dub. I hear you. Yeah, home field advantage definitely does matter. But you're playing against a team that plays the best on the road. And they've been like this all season. The Mariners consistently all year long were even better on the road. Yeah, this goes back months. But to close out the season in the last 30 days, Seattle Mariners were the best team so far, by far in all of MLB. And then one thing I will say too about Jack Flaherty, he is not very good at home. He has 3 games in the last 5 where he just got rocked for 5 runs, 4 runs, 8 runs. That's a combination of 18 runs given up over 25 innings, a 6.48 ERA. What time does MLB? Apparently it's been pushed back to 7:30 Eastern time, which honestly it really should have been a night game anyways, especially with all the rain, but it's been pushed back to 7:30 Eastern time. Guys, let's talk some NFL real quick, guys. Let's go over some NFL. Because if we find some value right now, we have to lock this in. We have to at least get the juices flowing right now, right? We got to at least get the juices flowing right now. Y'all want to start with some Thursday night football? This game is 2 days away between Philadelphia and the Giants, and you have Philadelphia laying 7.5 on the road. 7.5 on the road in favor of Philadelphia against the Giants. Let's talk about Thursday night football, guys. Let's get the juices flowing real quick. We did this last week. I did tell you guys Niners. I got cute with that one too. But I did early in the season, early in the week, did tell you guys the Niners. It just looked like an over-exaggeration, and it clearly was. Give me red for the Eagles, blue for the Giants. What side are you on today? What side will you be on for Thursday? This is a 7.5 point number in favor of Philadelphia on the road. Red for the Eagles, blue for the Giants. Tap the emoji. Tap the color. We are previewing NFL Week 6 here, guys. If you guys want to watch my screen, I have a whole screen share going on. I'm actually really proud of my NFL model. I've made a lot of upgrades to it. Hope you guys like it, man. So let's follow the storyline here, guys. Philadelphia, they are coming off of an outright loss, right? And that's not that does not roll off the tongue easily, because Philadelphia does not lose a whole lot of games, and especially not at home. They were coming into that game where Jalen Hurts has, in the game that he started and finished, it had been over a year since they had lost. The last time they had lost in general was in Washington when Jalen Hurts got injured in that game. He didn't finish that game. So there was a whole lot of storylines, a whole lot of chatter with Denver coming into Philadelphia on Sunday. And that made it a little easier for me to take Denver. I was on the Broncos plus 4.5 on Sunday. Okay, the Giants, guys, they were not in a good spot. They had to go into New Orleans after having played the Chargers. They played the Chargers. They beat them outright. They were a 6.5-point dog. They beat the Chargers after making that quarterback change. Excuse me. Let's see, guys. So you have Philadelphia coming off of an outright loss, right? When they were favored at home, they lost outright. Meanwhile, the Giants are coming off of that loss in New Orleans. But again, that was a very tough spot for them after having played the Chargers and won outright. Okay, so this is a Thursday night game. They'll be playing with equal rest from Sunday here. Real quick, guys, let's look at what these teams want to do. And you know the Philadelphia, they want to run the ball. They are number one in terms of run frequency, and they do it really well. They don't stick to the run, though. There was a lot of criticism about Saquon not getting enough carries. In fact, he finished the game with 6 carries in the last game against the Broncos, if you could believe it. Guys, Philadelphia wants to run the ball. They do it well. Giants, they cannot defend the run. Oh, my God. They're giving up 6.1 yards per carry on the ground to opposing running backs. 6.1 yards per carry, and success rate pretty low as well. So that's not good there. The Giants, they also want to run the ball. And it does help that Philadelphia's weakness, guys. One of the reasons we could take the Broncos a week ago or on Sunday was because Philadelphia is weak against the run. That is their weakness of the run defense. So both of these teams should be able to run on each other. Here's one of the reasons, too, that I was able to fade Philadelphia on Sunday, guys. In the trenches, Philadelphia's offensive line. Everybody thinks they have a great offensive line, but they're actually giving up a lot of pressure right now on Jalen Hurts. Somebody that's proven that he doesn't really go down the field a whole lot. He doesn't complete a whole lot of yards per game. Guys, that offensive line is kind of leaking there for Philadelphia. Meanwhile, don't look now. The Giants actually have a decent offensive and defensive line there. Right now, guys, just first feel here, I think this is a lot of points. I think a lot of people are going to be selling on Jackson Dart after losing to the Saints. The Saints, who hadn't won a game in how long? Spencer Rattler, who hadn't won a game in his career. So I think a lot of people are going to be selling on Jackson Dart. I still think this kid has something to him. I picked him in his first start. I avoided him in his last game. I didn't have a pick in that Giants Saints game. I think this is a classic. When everybody jumps off the boat, that's when you get back on it. I'm leaning the Giants here, guys. Do not forget, this is the division game. You're at home against your division rival, the Philadelphia Phillies. This is a team that a year ago, the Giants were horrible in their division. They were 0-6 straight up. They game plan. They game plan against their division. They game plan at being better, way better than 0-6. The Philadelphia Phillies were 6-1 against their division last year. I would expect that to regress and come back to the mean. I think the Giants is the right side there, man. You crazy taking the Giants? It's not that crazy, brother. I think you're probably still thinking about like Russell Wilson with the Giants, or maybe a year ago with Daniel Jones. The Giants team is not that bad, bro. Their offensive line pretty good, defensive line pretty good. They need to be able to run the ball. That is the recipe to beat to beat the Philadelphia Phillies. Their weakness on the defensive side is on the run, and they have a running back that can definitely run the ball, man. Giants plus the points. My man Haas says the same thing. Eagles on the Giants. They have for years. It will continue. Would have their number. This is Philadelphia's get right spot. That does concern me. I will be honest. That does concern me. Philadelphia. That was a wake up call there. I would have much rather prefer Philadelphia to come into this one a little bit unfocused if they had won that game against the Broncos and they were still undefeated and everything. So I will say, yes, I'm not quick. I'm not absolutely quick to take the Giants here because of that point. You make a very good point, man. Going to New Orleans is not a tough spot versus a quarterback who had never won a game. I did mention that, but it was a tough spot in terms of scheduling. Not the fact that it was the Saints, but the fact that it was Jackson Dart's first start of his career, and he won outright as a 6.5-point dog. And everybody is telling you how good you are and patting you on the back, and there's all this extra excitement and extra motivation around the team, and everybody thinks they're back. And yeah, no, there was a lot of excitement around the New York Giants, and I have this track too. When a quarterback is injured and the backup is making his first start or a rookie is making his first start, you usually play on that team, and that's why we were on the Giants against the Chargers. You can play on that team, but the next week you usually want to fade them. Okay, you usually want to fade them because then here comes the herd, here comes the public. Everybody. The Giants were actually a really public play against the Saints on Sunday. I was off of it, but that's the idea with that. That's the thought process, brother. Jalen Hurts to go under 40 rushing yards. I don't know about that, brother. I don't know. On prime time, generally, I do like quarterbacks to make something happen with their feet, to keep it running. And Giants do have a weakness against the run. So whether it's Saquon or I think there's an emphasis with Saquon. I will say Saquon is going to get some of the touches away from the rest of the team, including Jalen Hurts on the ground. But I'm not gonna completely say under. Who do you like, Mariners or Tigers? We did talk about that game. Let me know if you're talking about the side or the total. Jano says 10.5 on the Giants is 180. Yeah, I'm good on that, man. Bronx, I'm a Giants fan. We don't have a main receiver. Very, very good point there. Malik Neighbors out for the season. And I do like when I hear straight from the fans here. And my man's being realistic here, and he's like, yo, I know the Phillies. I know the Giants. You need your receiver here. And yes, I was thinking that was in the back of my head there. Malik Neighbors being out for the season. And you also have a head coaching edge there with Nick Sirianni for Philadelphia. But still, I'm thinking 7.5 is way too many points. I'm looking at the strength of schedule, and I'm seeing that both of these teams have played a tough schedule, guys. The Giants have played a tough schedule too. Philadelphia number 2 in terms of strength of schedule. The Giants number 6. So keep that in mind. But am I running to the window with the Giants? No, I'm not running to the window with the Giants. Philadelphia is in a situation where they do got to lock in and focus at this point after picking up a loss. What game is next, guys? Somebody drop another game. Let's go. Let's go through them a little quicker, just to get the juices flowing on all these games. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. If you guys want to join the Discord, link is in bio. Let's go, guys. Somebody drop another game. There are some that are catching my attention here. I just made a video. Made a video about some teams heading into a bye week. Okay, and this is one of the things I've been doing for years, and I'm sharing with you guys on TikTok. Pay attention to teams heading into their bye week. Okay. I've been doing this for a while now, and this is one of the angles that has worked. These teams so far this year are 5-1. 5-1 against the number. It went 2-0 last week. 2-0 last week because you had the Vikings cover against the Browns. You had the Houston Texans cover against the Ravens. Okay. So you have two teams that are in this spot today. Full transparency. I was on the Ravens, and really the one point that I'm preaching right now is pay attention to these teams that are heading into the bye week, because it's almost like you leave it all out on the table, right? Because the idea is that you're off for the next week, next 2 weeks. You get a whole week off when you have a bye week, and then you come back and prepare the following week. So the idea is that you leave it all out on the table. And I mean, we saw that with the Texans. You empty the tank, and that's what they did. The Vikings, trying to get back home and make it a nice flight back home and then get some rest. You saw those teams go 2-0. This week, 2 teams apply to that. Baltimore Ravens, they're catching 7.5 points. And the other team is the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are laying 4.5 points on the road. The Buffalo Bills are laying 4.5 points on the road. Let's see how we feel about Buffalo versus Atlanta. This game is on Monday Night Football. It is the first game of the doubleheader. Buffalo coming off of the outright loss. They lost against the Patriots. My bad if you guys were on Buffalo. I was on New England, and I was pretty confident with it, man. It was a little max play for me. Buffalo now trying to get right against Atlanta on the road. What side will you be on this game? Give me red for Atlanta, red for the Falcons, blue for the Bills. What side do you think is the right side here? This is a 4.5-point line. The Buffalo Bills are favored by 4.5 on the road in Atlanta. Blue for the Bills, red for the Falcons. Let's walk through this one real quick. Buffalo, like I just mentioned, coming off of a division game against the New England Patriots, and they lost outright as an 8-point favorite. Okay. Buffalo, guys, when it comes to strength of schedule, they have not been tested. They've played the second easiest schedule so far. They've had the Saints, and they let them hang around. They had the Dolphins. They let them hang around. They had what looked like, a cupcake game. Everybody thought Buffalo was just going to steamroll over the Patriots. Look, the Patriots, they challenged them all game long, right? That game had a lot of turnovers too, so maybe some randomness. But keep that in mind. Atlanta on the other side, we saw them against. When was the last time we saw them? They were they were on their bye week, so we haven't seen them in a week, guys. So they're coming out of their bye week. That's something I'm going to be tracking as well. So the last time we saw them was against Washington. Okay, last time we saw them was against Washington, and they took care of business. They were in a spot that they needed to bounce back. They got spanked the week before against Carolina. They lost 0-30, so they were in a good spot there against Atlanta. One thing I will tell you about teams coming out of the bye week. One team I will tell you with teams coming out of the bye week is, did you go into the bye week on a good note? Were you rolling? Did you have momentum going for you? Or was it opposite? I think it was opposite for Atlanta. I think they won the last game, but they that butt whooping against Carolina, I don't think I think they had a lot of things to work on over the break, and here we got them after a bye week while Buffalo's coming off in a get right spot. Let's talk about the X's and O's real quick, guys. In the trenches, these are two of your top offensive lines and two of your top defensive lines in the NFL. So no real edge there. In terms of run frequency, both of these teams want to run the ball. They're both top 8 at run frequency. Who does it better? The Buffalo Bills can run the ball. They do have a pretty good success rate at running the ball. They're averaging 4.9 yards per carry. But Atlanta's defense stopping the run, they're actually pretty decent. Here's the other side to that. Atlanta, not really great at running the ball. They need to stick to the run a little bit more. But that's the weakness. That's the weakness with Buffalo. And I remember that opened up my eyes a little bit with the Patriots this last week. The Patriots have some running backs that could run the ball. Atlanta has some running backs that could run the ball against this weak Buffalo Bills defense. I will say also, keep an eye on the defensive tackle. The defensive tackle, is it Ed Oliver for Buffalo? One of them was ruled out. And that kind of made me press the pedal a little bit there with the New England Patriots a week ago. So is there a path here for Buffalo to cover this number and head into their bye week on the right note? Let me think about this one a little bit here. You have Josh Allen, better quarterback, heading into their bye week, coming off of a bad loss there against New England. You were favored by a whole lot. I think when it comes down to it, guys, Michael Penix is not really ready to hang with the big boys here. People called me crazy for thinking Drake May could hang with Buffalo, but Drake May can ball. Michael Penix, I don't think he's stiff, man. He's more of a statue. He's more of a he's slow to get through his progressions. He's 26 in terms of passer rating. I think Buffalo rolls here. I think they take care of business in a get right spot, and with their bye on deck, I think they leave it all out on the table here. Who wins this trade, Warren or K9 for James Cook? I'm not a big fantasy brother. I wish we could help you, man. We whooped Ravens first game. Are you talking about Buffalo? How huge does that win look now, though? That's where I was telling you, if you're talking about Buffalo, they rank 31st in terms of strength of schedule. The numbers say they have not been tested. Okay? So they played Miami, they let them hang, they played the Jets. They took care of business against the Jets. They played the Saints. And then they were finally tested against New England. Look what happened. PJ said the Falcons cover the number. I think there's favorable spots on both sides. I like that Atlanta didn't go into the bye week on the best note. 2 weeks before they got their butts whooped against Carolina. They did take care of business in the last week here. And guys, this is a primetime game. Primetime games are special, man. If you guys just had the feeling, like, are the dogs barking on primetime? Bro, they are. Dogs are always barking on primetime. Here we go, guys. If you think your mind is playing games on you, it's not. In the last 3 primetime games, so this last week, the entire week, all the dogs covered, and all the dogs won outright as well. All the dogs won outright. You had Jaguars winning outright on Monday. You had the Patriots winning outright on Sunday. And the Thursday, that was the craziest one. The Niners winning outright as an 8.5-point dog when they had nobody on their team, bro. They had Mac Jones and they had no receivers. So dogs are barking here, man. Generally, in all the primetime so far, we've had 18 primetime games. I'm tracking this, guys. You guys can always ask me for this, by the way. 12 dogs have covered out of 18, so 67% against the number so far. That is pretty good. Chicago Blackhawks are winning tonight. I'm not a big hockey guy. Maybe I'll be able to help you guys with some hockey later on. But yes, I do have some guys in the Discord that I do trust, and they're on the Blackhawks, man. So go for it, man. Oklahoma versus Texas. I'm not ready to talk about college football yet. I gotta set up my model. What other NFL game you guys want to talk about? Somebody drop another NFL game. Let's go, man. So we talked about Buffalo versus Atlanta. We talked about Philadelphia versus Giants. Those are 2 primetime games. One's on Monday, the other's on Thursday night. What other games are you guys interested in? Got some good games in Seattle is on the road at Jacksonville. Right? Those are 2 good teams now. Detroit versus Kansas City. Who you like in Seattle and Detroit? Are you talking to MLB? We talked about the side and the total in that game. I think the right side is the Mariners. I think the right total is the over. My problem, though, now is this game has now been delayed 3 hours from the start time. That usually makes me a little nervous about the cap a little bit, because you have these guys, they're probably warmed up already, they're ready to go, and then 20 minutes, 30 minutes before the game, they announce a delay. I don't love that, but yes, I think the right side is the Mariners. I think the right total is the over. Detroit seems like a trap. Kansas City versus Detroit. Yeah, let's talk about this game. Yeah, this is a hell of a game here. This is a Sunday Night Football game too. Dang it! Why is my hold up? Let me see. My numbers are not showing up here. Let me reset the Detroit schedule real quick. There we go. And let me reset the Kansas City schedule. And we can talk about this game real quick. Detroit versus Kansas City. What do y'all think about this game? This is going to be on Sunday Night Football. Give me blue for the Lions. Give me red for the Chiefs. What side will you be on for Sunday Night Football? Red for the Chiefs. Blue for the Lions, man. Let me lay back a little bit, man. This is kickback time with the GOAT, man. Kickback time now. Kansas City coming off of that outright loss last night. Outright loss against the Jaguars. Detroit, man. People were counting them out, bro. 3 weeks ago. Was it 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago at this point? 3 weeks ago, they were up against Baltimore. And I came on here and I tried to convince you guys to take Detroit 4.5. That's crazy that you could just rewind, you could just fast forward 3 weeks later and look how free that sounded, right? That sounded free as hell. But ever since then, they've been rolling, bro. They took care of business against Baltimore. They beat them 38-30. They steamrolled the Cleveland Browns team, which is not that bad, especially on defense. They got a hell of a defense. And then they steamrolled Cincinnati. Okay. In terms of strength of schedule, guys, both of these teams have been tested. Remember, Detroit here playing Kansas City. Both of these teams have been tested. Kansas City number 3 in terms of strength of schedule. Detroit number 5. Let's talk about in the trenches real quick. Both of these teams are built very nicely, especially Kansas City, man. Their offensive line is top 5, top 6 here in NFL. Their defensive line is also ranked pretty good as well. They can generate pressure even without blitzing, especially with, Steve Spagnuolo at DC, man. That's a hell of a defensive minded defensive coordinator they have there. Detroit on the other side though, they're not bad at all. They rank 13th in offensive line, 15th in terms of pressure rate on defense. So that's the metric I use for defensive line. So both of these lines pretty good, but the edge does go to Kansas City. Let's see what these teams want to do, guys. Detroit wants to run the ball. Okay, they still got shades of the Ben Johnson days here. They just want to establish the run. They want to run some play action with Jared Goff and get some of those easy completions down the field. So Detroit wants to run the ball. They are 5th in terms of run frequency. That is the perfect weakness against Kansas City. I know Jacksonville was a little dumb yesterday and not running the ball when they should have, but Detroit, they can run the ball. They can stick with the run. They can stick with their game plan. And then you have a Kansas City team that is awful against the run. They're giving up 4.9 yards per carry, but the number that's most alarming is the success rate number. They're giving up 50% success rate to their opposing running attacks. So that means 50% of the time, the opponents are getting 4 or 5 yards on them every single. They're staying ahead of the chains. They're having successful runs. On the other side, if Kansas City wants to try to run the ball, which they don't really stick to a whole lot, they kind of let Patrick Mahomes do his thing. But even if they wanted to establish the run, Detroit's not the team to run the ball on. Detroit's run defense is probably the best. Yeah, it's like the top 3 run defense here, guys. This is one where I wish Kansas City would have won last night, and I wish they would have been a little bit more overvalued coming into this one. Patrick Mahomes is not playing that well. We saw it yesterday with a bad pick. We saw some he's just trying to do too much sometimes, right? Jared Goff, man, number 2 in terms of passer rating. He's slinging it. He has a 120 passer rating on the season. Again, he's going to have some help running the ball. There's going to be some holes for the running backs to run the ball. So look for some Jahmyr Gibbs. Look for some David Montgomery in this game, and then Jared Goff over the top. I like Detroit in this game, yo. How many plays do you give out a day? Usually 3 to 4 plays a day. But Sundays, I do not. I push the pedal. On Sundays, we usually do between like 6 and 7 plays on Sundays. Every other day, 3 to 4 plays a day. Today is a light day. We have two games, 2 MLB games. How long do you think the MLB delay will be? The delay is scheduled. I think the last thing is 1 more hour, 7:30 Eastern time. Detroit feels like a trap. Are you talking about NFL or MLB? Bronx, you mentioned Kansas City versus Detroit. What's your take on that one, man? Do you have a max play? Not today. Today we got standard plays. I'm comfortable with them. I'm not. I don't think it's a slam dunk. I'll be honest with you. But I think we're confident in the 2 picks that we send out. Again, guys, don't try to guess my plays. I did give you a side and a total for both MLB games here. Don't try to guess my plays, though. If you guys want to join the squad, link is in bio. We have Tuesdays and Wednesdays, man. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are MLB days. Hockey days are going to be coming up. Basketball days are going to be coming up. Excuse me. Don't go too crazy. Don't go too crazy Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Excuse me. Bronx says, I like Detroit. Yeah, man. You got Detroit catching 2.5 points. I looked at this line yesterday, too. This thing was Kansas City 1.5 yesterday. So the fact that they went up to 2.5 after Kansas City, did they look good? They look good on offense, right? Despite the Patrick Mahomes turnovers. They look good on offense. I wouldn't say their defense looked good yesterday. So I'm a little surprised this line is now 2.5 today. I think I just trust Jared Goff more, and I trust the running backs to make some plays there. They just got more pieces too. They got pieces there with Jameson Williams and Amon St. Brown and the 2 running backs. How do you join VIP and how much? The link is in bio to join. There's a monthly pass there. It's $70. $70 includes 4 weeks of MLB playoffs, 4 weeks of NFL weeks, 4 NFL weeks, obviously, 4 college football weeks. Consider joining the squad. Link is in bio. $70, man. You get access to the full Discord, full access. We don't have all those tiers. You have to pay more for VIP. No. It's one access. You get access to the full community, and it's not just picks, man. It's a nice, chill community. Everybody's super cool. Everybody's always helping out. I'm not a big soccer guy, for example. I got a guy that I'm looking for his soccer plays every single day. Every single Tuesdays and Wednesdays. He's got some Champions League. We got hockey experts, man. We got a baseball expert. Like, it's a whole Discord, man. It's a whole vibe in there. If you want to check it out, link is in bio. Do you like the Seattle Nerfy scoreless first inning? I like both full games to go over. So generally speaking, I don't like the scoreless first inning. I would expect some scores in the first inning, actually. But out of the two games, yes, that is the game that I would prefer a scoreless first inning. Sorry, I'm late. When is the Tigers game is starting? 7:30 is expected start time. Thank you, brother. I sneezed. Somebody said thank you. Bless you, man. Thank you. How much is your max play? I don't sell plays individually. Link is about to get a monthly pass. Monthly pass is $70, and that includes all my max plays. That includes all my 2-unit, 3-unit plays, 3U plays. Link is in bio, guys, if you guys want to join the squad. What game is next? Did you say you like Broncos? Let's talk about the Broncos real quick. Denver is on the road at the New York Jets after that big win against Philadelphia real quick. Let's talk about this one. Give me red for the Broncos, blue for the Jets. What side will you be on? Denver is laying 7.5 on the road in New York, in New Jersey, whatever. New York Jets. 7.5 is the line in favor of Denver on the road. Give me red for the Denver Broncos, blue for the Jets. Let's talk about this one real quick. Denver coming off of that outright win against Philadelphia. Before that, they steamrolled Cincinnati. Before that, they lost a tough game. They lost a tough game to the Chargers 3 weeks ago. So you see a good trend here of Denver, playing some good ball lately. The Jets, on the other hand, I don't know why the Sharps were on the Jets. I was on the Cowboys. That was a terrible mismatch for them. Dallas can run up the scoreboard. They got offense. I know their defense is shaky, but they got offense. Okay, so that was not ideal there for the Jets. Jets before that, they were really not competitive in Miami. Before that, they had the game against Tampa Bay, but then ended up losing it. Anyways, scheduling wise, it's not really so much scheduling wise. It's just, do I really trust the Jets? Am I really going to put my hard-earned money on the Jets right now? They're what, 0-4. They haven't won a game yet. They're 2-2 against the number. So they're not doing much. Let's talk about what they. So here's their biggest problem. Oof, and this is the end all be all already. So Denver, your best team. Denver is the best team in the trenches. Okay. They have the number 2 offensive line, the number 1 defensive line, okay? The metric I use is pressure rate, okay? Both offense and defense, guys. So this team is just built so strong inside out. And this is one of the reasons I was able to fade the Jets on Sunday. They are the worst. They're the opposite. They're 32nd in offensive line, 30th in defensive line, okay? That is a recipe for disaster. Recipe for disaster. You mean to tell me the Broncos are going to come out here and they're going to control both lines of scrimmages easily? Like, this is the worst against the best on both sides of the ball. So I think the cap stops there. I'm not playing the Jets. What do they want to do? They both want to run the ball. They both defend the run pretty well. But the problem is with Denver's defensive line being as good as they are, you would expect some runs to get stuffed there, and then Justin Fields. So you're going to put the ball in Justin Fields' hands, and he's got to come out there and beat you against the Denver's Broncos pass defense that's given up the 6th worst passer rating. Yeah, no, thank you, man. It really, again, this really came down to would I take Denver or not. 7.5 sounds like a little bit too much, especially coming off of an outright win against the Super Bowl champions. But maybe in a teaser, Denver in a teaser sounds good there. That's a Lundy game. This is a neutral site in yeah, it is 7.5. So if you guys have not been following the international series, so I should be getting my my model. The time is not working here. if you guys are following the international series, the favorites in international games are pretty successful. Do I still have the last one here? So you usually could take some favorites on the international games and have some success there. Tio Manuel, hola. What's up, brother? How you doing, James? Haven't seen you in a while, man. I like the Mariners and Blue Jays to win. Ali, we talked about both of those games. I'm feeling the Blue Jays. I'm feeling the Mariners and the Yankees. Jets cover in that game. Humble beasts. I'm giving it some thought. Now you add on the fact that this is a London game, right? They got the crowd that they got to please a little bit there across the pond. They have a lot of international games, guys. There's a game in Madrid this year with Washington and Miami. I think every single week there's going to be an early game now, which is great. Sarcastic. Okay, you're not going to be doing that advertising here. Guys, hit the follow button if it's your first time here. If you guys want to join the squad, links in bio. That's a London game. Thank you for letting me know, man. Talk about bad against worse. Yeah, that is terrible. That is terrible. The Jets. Man, I took a social media break. We still hitting those 60%, bro. If you have not been here, James, we have been hitting college football season. I gotta look at the recent full season numbers. I wouldn't be surprised. I think we're around 60% so far. We've had a 4-1 week 2 weeks ago. This last week was tough. I think we ended up 1-3 on Saturday. 2 weeks before that, I think it was like 4-2 or something. We're putting in work, man, every single day. Hit the follow button, guys. If you guys want to be a part of the Discord, link is in bio. College football is that good for us. NFL is that good for us. This last week, it was it just means we got to bounce back. That's all it means, man. If you guys are in the Discord, we're good. We ran up. We went on like 3 weeks where I'm not exaggerating, guys. We could not lose. We could not lose for 3 weeks. We ran it up for about 40 units. Okay. At this point, we lost a few here, but again, we're gonna get it back, man. I'm not worried about that. Guys, somebody asked me, Joe Flacco. Not sure about that. Joe Flacco's been traded now to the Bengals. Is he starting? Is he supposed to start? And we should look at some injuries, guys, and who's supposed to start these games. Let's talk about real quick some injuries, guys. Who are we expecting in these games on Thursday and Sunday and Monday? So let's go through it real quick, guys, because we're gonna have to pay attention to these injuries. Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is questionable. He's got a questionable tag. Maybe he got banged up, and that's why he only had 6 carries in that last game. That would make some sense. So he's questionable coming into the Thursday game. We got to keep an eye on him. The Giants, we know they are thin at receiver with Malik Neighbors not being in the game. To add on to it, Darius Slayton is questionable too. Nothing in Denver versus Jets, so that one looks pretty clean in terms of the star players there. For the Rams, Higbee is questionable. Higbee is questionable for the Rams. Where the Rams at? There it is. That's the running back. The tight end. Guys, Lamar Jackson is questionable. So we got a chance Lamar Jackson plays. We could talk about that other one a little bit more when we get to it, because Baltimore's heading into their bye week. Do they really rush Lamar Jackson back before their bye week? That's questionable there. Dallas, CeeDee Lamb is questionable. So in the Dallas-Carolina game, real quick, CeeDee Lamb is questionable. Hubbard is questionable, and the tight end Sanders is questionable real quick. So let's go real quick. We're going to put CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to mark these things yellow real quick. Chuba Hubbard and Sanders. So pay attention to those 3 guys in the Carolina versus Dallas game. Arizona, Kyle. Why can I not say his name right now? Kyle Murray. Kyler Murray. I've been doing this too long, guys. Kyler Murray is questionable coming into this game on Sunday. He's got to play the Indianapolis Colts. Kyler Murray. I was saying Kyle. Kyler Murray is questionable here, so we're gonna put a question mark for them. Let's look at the big question marks real quick here. Pittsburgh are back from their bye week. Both are they got their running back starting. Running back is injured. Wide receiver is injured. Brock Purdy is questionable, and those wide receivers are questionable as well. So we already know Ayuk is out. And then Jennings and Pearsall are both questionable. And then the big question mark is, will Brock Purdy be starting there? Tarek McLaurin has a chance of coming back this week. He's questionable. The dogs barked all week from Thursday night football all the way to Monday Night Football. Bro, I just finished talking about that. It's funny that we're on the same page. All the dogs won, covered the spread, and they all won outright, brother. If you can believe that. They all won outright. We were talking about the 49ers. They won outright on Thursday Night Football. On Sunday Night Football, the Bills lost outright to the Patriots as an 8.5-point favorite. And then on Monday, yesterday, the Jaguars won outright too, man. Joe Flacco, not sure how I feel about that one. Then I joined and it went to shit. What are you talking about? The Discord? The Discord has not gone to shit. We've had our losing days. Yes, it's part of the business, brother. You're gonna have some good days. You're gonna have some bad days. Okay, depending when you joined. But if you rewind a few days back, we could not miss. In fact, a week ago, MLB was smacking, NFL was smacking, college football was smacking. We're gonna get back to it. I'm confident we're gonna get back to it. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, it has been like a four-day stretch here, man. 4 days, though, should not wipe out weeks and weeks of profit. We've had weeks of profit, so we're going to keep it going, man. That's so crazy. Got to be a favorite week. Let me see. So, overall, I am tracking dogs. Yeah, dogs went crazy this week. In week 5, they were 9-5 against a number. 9-5 against a number. Look at this zigzag, yo. I'm tracking this. Look at this zigzag. Underdogs, it started in week 2. Underdogs in week 2, they went 7-9 against a number. Underdogs in week 3 went 10-6 against the number, 62%. So it was week 2 was a favorites week. Week 3 was a dogs week. Week 4 was a favorites week. Week dog was a dogs week. Dogs went 9-5 in week 5. So you would expect favorites to come back. I wouldn't be surprised there. If you are also looking at totals, guys, you've had 2 weeks in a row now where the overs have been smacking. I would expect this to come back down to earth, come back and revert back to the mean. I would expect some unders here in the next week. That's one thing I'm keeping an eye on here. The public got wrecked. Last week. They went 3-7 when the public tickets were 60% or more on the side. 60% more on the side. Public got wrecked. So look for maybe the public to get some back. In fact, they've lost 3 weeks in a row now. They haven't had a good week since week 2. I think every once in a while the public is going to have their week. That's not one I expect to zigzag. The one I expect to zigzag is the dogs and the favorites. It's been zigzagging for 4 weeks now, and I would expect the unders and overs to zigzag. So far, it kind of has been. In fact, you have 2 weeks in a row where the overs have been hitting, but before that they were zigzagging. I'm just messing around, I believe. Thank you, brother. Like I said, man, I'm just gonna put in the work every single day. I can't change what has already happened, but I can control what's already up ahead, man. Hit the follow button, guys, if it's your first time here. If you guys want to join the Discord, link is in bio. What's the play tonight? I got 2 plays tonight. We already locked them in hours ago. Link is in bio if you guys want to get my plays, man. Carlos Rodon to get under 4.5 strikeouts. We talked about that one. That is a elimination game. I think Carlos Rodon has a short leash, and I think they could go to the bullpen sooner rather than later. How do you feel about Texas Tech minus 13? We could talk about that tomorrow. I should be ready to talk about college football tomorrow. Man, I took a social media break. Man, I can't lie. You be on point. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, Jay-Way. Jay-Way, you I think you've been in the Discord, right? And you see, man, we put some good plays together, man. We had a clean sweep yesterday. We had a huge day coming for us, man. And then that under just got crushed in the last quarter. It was just a little bit of a bad beat there, but it's all good, man. Sometimes the ball swings. Some of those bounce our way. Some of them don't, man. So we're gonna keep it going, guys. It's been a great football season. Again, not gonna let a little four day stretch wipe away weeks and weeks of profit, man. We're out here trying to pay some bills every single day. Guys, somebody asked me about the Raiders. Somebody DM me and asked me about the Raiders game. He's like, yo, I know it's a Monday night, but I need to know what the Raiders are like next week. Let's talk about Tennessee versus Las Vegas here. I'm surprised he wants to talk about this game. This is a 4.5-point number in favor of Las Vegas. Let's talk about the Raiders versus Titans real quick. Titans coming off the first win of the season. I came on here and told you guys I'm not taking Tennessee, but if there was any week to take Tennessee, it's after the quarterback just called his team ass. He said, we're playing like some ass, straight up. That's what it is, bro. That's gonna light a fire under everybody's butt. It was a goofy game, man. It was a goofy game. It was weird. So many miscues. I'm probably glad I stayed off of it. I'm okay. I don't need that stress in my life. But Tennessee picked up a straight up win, and they covered that 7.5-point number in Arizona. Let's talk about today. Next in week 6. In week 6, the Tennessee Titans are visiting the Las Vegas Raiders. It's going to be the Raiders are favored by 4.5 at home. Give me red for the Raiders. Give me blue for the Titans. What side will you be on? Tennessee, like I just mentioned, coming off of that outright win as a 7.5-point dog. They are celebrating, man. They are celebrating because they were struggling before that. They got their butts whooped in Houston a week before that. They got their butts whooped by Indianapolis a week before that. So it's been a terrible season there for the worst team in the NFL according to the power rankings here. Las Vegas, on the other hand, they got their butts whooped. Indianapolis spanked them 40-6. They did not stand a chance there as a 7.5-point dog in Indianapolis. Danny Dollars was just too much for them, man. Danny Dollars was just a little bit too much for them. You have Cam Ward, who is just he's not playing well, man. There's no other way to put it. He's not playing well. He's ranked 32nd. That is dead last in terms of passer rating. Geno Smith, not like he's playing any better, though. He's ranked 30th, okay? Let's see what these teams want to do real quick. What do these teams want to do? Do they want to run the ball? No, they don't even try. They rank 28th, or they don't stick to it, right? They don't stick to their game plan. Tennessee is ranked 28th in run frequency. Las Vegas is ranked 19th in run frequency. Guys, this is an awful game here. In terms of offensive line, they both suck. In terms of defensive line, they both suck. There is an edge here for the Las Vegas offense. Through the air, they make a little bit more happen. And then the defense. On the defensive side, you do have an edge here for Las Vegas as well. Guys, this is one just based off the scheduling spot. I got to say Las Vegas is the right side here. They just got their butts whooped. Nobody wants anything to do with Las Vegas. And someone out there is saying, hold up, Tennessee might be back. Yeah, no, they're not back, bro. They're not back. Give me the Raiders on Sunday. Tighten up. I'm from Tennessee. Titans and Grizzlies over anything. Brother, I'm sorry, man. You being delusional right now. You being hella delusional. The team that plays Indy don't cover the following week. Is that a trend so far this year? These teams did just play Indianapolis. They both just played Indianapolis. So the team that plays Indy doesn't cover the following week. So that just applied to Tennessee. Because they got their butts whooped against Indianapolis. And then they got their butts whooped against Houston. Okay? So now you're saying because Las Vegas played Indianapolis, the voodoo magic has been done. And the Pacers, this is the Pacers, Halliburton, and they got the black magic in Indy. After they play Indy, they're not covering again. So you're taking Tennessee? Yeah, Tennessee just played their Super Bowl, man. They just won a game. I think they're feeling really good. They're obviously a young team there with Cam Ward at quarterback too. I gotta say, I'm not backing the team off of their first win, off of a huge win like that. I would rather take the team that looks so ugly and the quarterback that I trust a little bit more. Tennessee has problems on defense too. It's not just their offense. Did he really? I feel like it could be a season-ending statement about his teammates. Yes, he called his team ass. He said, we are ass. We are playing like ass, so we are ass. And they came out and won. But, the way they won, bro, they're so random. So many miscues. I'm not buying into that, man. Have you talked about MLB? If you have, who do you have? Yes, we did talk about MLB. I gave you a pick in the side for every single game. I was feeling the Mariners in the over, and I was feeling the Yankees in the over. Hey, the dog is barking. Now you guys are going to say the dog is barking. Yeah, I'm about to tap in. I got a new debit card. Yeah, bro. Link is in bio if you want to tap in, brother. He said, I'm from Tennessee, bro. Titans over everything. What game y'all want to talk about, man? Let's go. We've talked about Buffalo versus Atlanta, Detroit versus Kansas City. We've talked about, look at this. New England is a 3.5-point favorite. New England is only favored by 3.5 in New Orleans. Let's talk about that one real quick, man. New England is favored by 3.5 in New Orleans. Give me red for the Patriots, blue for the Saints. This is a 3.5-point number. The Patriots are favored by 3.5 in New Orleans. How y'all playing this one? New England coming off of an outright huge win against their division rival, Buffalo Bills. Huge win. And not just a huge win there. They clapped Carolina the week before that too. Clapped them 42-13. Okay? New Orleans picked up their first win of the year. Picked up their first win under Spencer Rattler. After they put up a fight. New Orleans put up a fight, yo. In Buffalo, they definitely did. And they were hanging around there with the Cardinals. I know they got rocked by Seattle. That's not surprising. Let's talk about this one real quick, guys. In terms of offensive line, both of these offensive lines are pretty good. New England is ranked number 7. New Orleans is ranked 14th. So both of these top half. It's the defensive line that really struggles for New Orleans. They're struggling to generate pressure with or without the blitz. They rank 31st in terms of pressuring the quarterback. In terms of run frequency, guys, you have two teams that don't really run the ball, and that doesn't really help a young quarterback like Spencer Rattler. I'm looking at offense to offense, and the number that really is sticking out here is, of course, Drake May through the air, and that plays perfectly into the weakness of New Orleans. New Orleans over the air is where they're the weakness. If you try to run the ball in New Orleans, maybe you that's where you don't have success. But through the air, you definitely do. New Orleans is giving up the 30th defensive passer rating. So the second worst in the league, basically. 30th best passer rating, the second worst. That's a mouthful, but yeah. Quarterbacks are getting anything they want on New Orleans here. But why in the world is this a 3.5-point number? This is a sketchy number here with New England only being favored by 3.5. I could see it with them coming off the huge game that they came off of. With them coming off of the huge game that they just came off of, and then they just have New Orleans on deck. Like, how do you get excited for New Orleans? I would wish that New England had somebody on deck that they could look ahead to. You have Tennessee on deck, and that's not a look-ahead spot. But Mike Vrabel is playing his old team after the Saints. It's not a look-ahead spot, but maybe the players are not looking ahead, but Mike Vrabel could be against his old team. This is a sneaky spot, bro. Don't be surprised if New Orleans is like an ugly play. What are your thoughts on the Lions being the underdogs? We talked about that game. Man. I'm feeling the Lions there. I'm feeling the Lions. The main reason is Kansas City's run defense, right? Detroit's got some running backs, just like who just played Kansas City that had some running backs. When you have running backs and you stick to the run the way Detroit does, right? Still with the Ben Johnson schemes in Detroit. When you stick to the run and then you just do the play action after that, man, you are lethal, especially against a team that's so bad against the run. Kansas City is that bad against the run. I like the Lions there. Start 2. Let's see. I'm not a big fantasy guy, but I got some time. ETN, Judkins, or Kamara. I think Kamara. The Saints got to put the ball in his hands, and I'll go ETN after that. Who do you think between the Jets and the Broncos? We talked about Jets or Broncos. The only way I can play that is Denver. I'm not getting cute. I'm not getting cute with the Jets, even if it's overseas. In fact, especially because it's overseas, I think the favorites win in international games. They do have a really good hit rate, but the main issue is the Jets' offensive line and the defensive line is one of the worst. on both sides of the ball. Meanwhile, Denver, on their offensive line and their defensive line, they are the best on both sides of the ball. That is a recipe for disaster there. That is a recipe for disaster there for Justin Fields. He's going to be running for his life. He's going to have all this pressure in his face, and he's going to be prone to turn the ball over, in my opinion. And then on the other side, the Jets are not going to generate any pressure on Denver. Denver's going to have, Bo Nix is going to have all the time in the world to dice up this defense, and that's where they're the weakness. They are the weakest against the pass. So the only way I could play that right now is Denver, but it is an overseas game, maybe in London, so it's gonna, maybe to please the fans or something. Maybe the Jets pull a rabbit out of their butts. I wouldn't be surprised if like a Denver Broncos in a teaser maybe makes sense, brother. 70% Dodgers, 30% Phillies. What are you talking about, brother? So Denver covers the Broncos. If I was going to take a team to cover, yes. The only way I could play that is Denver Broncos. They're just going to win the battle in the trenches, like easily. Okay. What happens outside of the trenches is I think Justin Fields has too much pressure in his face, and he's going to be prone to turning the ball over. And then on the other side, Bo Nix, he's going to have time to dice up this defense. So I think it all starts in the trenches, though. For tomorrow's game in Game 3, I'm not running to the window and saying the Dodgers are sweeping them, man. I would think Philly takes one. That's just my initial lean right now. Ask me again tomorrow, though. Let's see, guys. Is there another good game we got to talk about real quick before we go? About to wrap it up here real quick. Seattle, man. Look at Seattle. They are on the road at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is favored by 1.5. Jacksonville is favored by 1.5 here at home against Seattle. Give me blue. Blue for the Seahawks, red for the Jaguars. What side will you be on for this one? Red for the Jaguars, blue for the Seahawks. We just saw the Jaguars last night. They put up an upset win against the Chiefs. They were 3.5-point dogs. They won outright. They won by 3. Okay? Seattle, on the other hand, they are they're coming off of that loss against Tampa Bay, and that was an entertaining game. That was real entertaining. Hats off to Baker Mayfield, man. He just showed out. Sam Darnold made one mistake late, and it cost them, but Seattle definitely hung in there with a tough team in the NFC. So keep that in mind there. Following the storyline a little bit there, you have Seattle coming off of that tough win against Tampa Bay. Before that, they were on Thursday Night Football against Arizona, took care of business there. And then before that, they steamrolled New Orleans, okay? If you guys remember that so far. Jacksonville on the other side, they were coming off of the outright. So now they've won outright 2 weeks in a row against San Francisco and against Kansas City. Something to keep in mind there. Let's start with the battle in the trenches, guys. Jacksonville. One of the reasons I liked Jacksonville yesterday was in the trenches. They got the number 1 offensive line in terms of pressure rate allowed. With pressure, without pressure, it don't matter. They're giving Trevor Lawrence some time there in the pocket. But Seattle's offensive line is not terrible. It's ranked 15th. And then on the defensive line, both of these guys are pretty equal here. Looking at run frequency, Seattle is really good at running the ball. They stick to it. They stick to running the ball. They're number 2 in terms of run frequency, but they're not really producing a whole lot of success from it. Their EPA is down. Their success rate is down, and that's a little problematic. But against this Jacksonville defense, Jacksonville could be ran on a little bit here. In general, offense versus offense. It's Sam Darnold through the air that I trust a little bit more here. These defenses really look pretty even. I'm really not seeing any discrepancies here. Let me think about this one real quick. Both of them have played a similar strength of schedule. Neither of them have a look ahead on deck. But because Jacksonville has now won outright against two of the teams that are considered to be at the top, right? If San Francisco is healthy, they're considered to be a top team in the NFC. And they just beat the top team or one of the top teams in the AFC with Kansas City. Seattle, people might be jumping ship on them there after Sam Darnold turned it over and lost the game. I think this is a Seattle spot here, man. Let's see. Conrad says Seattle, their defense is solid. Yeah, I'm definitely looking at some good numbers here on the defensive side. Both of these defenses are really good. Jacksonville is number one against the pass. Jacksonville is number one against the pass. That's one thing I mentioned last night. But Seattle number 4 against the pass in terms of passer rating. My man says take Jaguars all day. Why though? How long can this fairy tale really go on for, man? You beat San Francisco and that was a huge win. Guys, one thing I'm gonna keep saying is turnovers, man. Jaguars are leading the league in turnover margin and turnovers per game. That's not sustainable. I don't think that's sustainable there, man. I think that a lot of luck plays into that. The ball has to bounce your way to get those turnovers. I don't know there. This feels like a Seattle spot. A Seattle spot for me, guys. Let's look at some look-aheads real quick, man. Who could be possibly looking ahead here against their opponent? Let me look at some good teams here. The Chargers, they have the Colts on deck. Could they be looking ahead past Miami? Usually the Colts is not a team that you look ahead to, but this year they're playing pretty good. Jacksonville has the Rams on deck. Okay. I think this is the Rams. It just says LA. Who else? Arizona has Green Bay on deck. Arizona is not looking ahead. The Raiders have Chiefs on deck. They're not looking ahead. Oh, look at this one. Tampa Bay has Detroit on deck. Tampa Bay coming off of a huge win in the NFC against Seattle. This is a sandwich spot. Look at this. Tampa Bay coming off of a huge win against Seattle in Seattle. You went in there and won as a 3.5-point dog. What's up, dog? Dog's coming up here tapping my shoulder. San Francisco, right? Coming off of a huge win too, but they're a team that people are kind of just leaving dead in the water a little bit, man. And then Tampa Bay has to prepare for Detroit, and not just Detroit. They got Detroit on Monday Night Football. They're going to be on national TV against the Lions on Monday Night Football in a classic NFC matchup here. Did they not end their season too? They ended their season in the playoffs as well. When was this? Or am I thinking regular season? I'm could have sworn this was playoffs. I remember Baker Mayfield going up to in the divisional round in the divisional round last year. Yeah. Last year. Sorry, no, this is 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm thinking 2 years ago. Baker Mayfield went up to Detroit and Detroit took care of business. They won 31-23, ended their season. And have they played since then? I don't think they have. What do you guys think about that, man? Is that a look-ahead spot? I don't do college football. I don't do college football. I do college football. I do college football. I do not do fantasy football, brother. I wish I could help you out, man, but I don't want to lead you in the wrong direction, man. Sorry. Real quick, guys. I want to look more into this playoff. Okay, so the playoff game, they did play one more time, and the Buccaneers did get their revenge last year. Okay, so maybe that's a little thin, but still, I'm gonna circle that one. That could be a potential sandwich game there. Who else, guys? Cincinnati has Pittsburgh on deck. Cincinnati's not overlooking nobody, but that is a division game. Detroit, they have Tampa Bay on deck. I would expect Tampa Bay to be looking ahead. Tampa Bay, Detroit's not gonna look ahead from the Chiefs. Look at Washington. Washington has Dallas on deck. That is a division game. And they got Chicago. They got Chicago after they beat them last year in that Hail Mary. I think that's a little bit of a sandwich. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Are these potential look-aheads or they're kind of thin? Guys, hit the follow button if it's your first time here. We're kind of just yapping right now, man, about some NFL. NFL Week 6, guys, on deck. We've pretty much talked about almost every single game now.
Let's see. Is there any really good games we left out? I think we're good here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and update some more numbers. I'm going to get ready for some. I'm already getting ready for NFL. Tomorrow, I'll be ready for some college football. We can talk some college football too, guys. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. If I left any of your questions unanswered, my bad. I try to respond to everybody. But if I missed any of your questions, drop it in the Discord. Drop it in my last video. I will respond to my last video. Tony says, your Discord is $70 a month. How many plays do you give out? Every single day, it's an average of 3 to 4 plays per day. Today is a lighter day. We sent 2 plays out for MLB playoffs. But normally, 3 to 4 plays per day. And we have on Sundays. On Sundays, we let it loose, man. I drop about 6 to 7 plays on Sundays. I give you an early slate and a night slate, and a late slate. So keep that in mind, guys. NFL, we're really good at. Last year, 58% on the entire season. College football, 68% on the entire season last year. We have picked up on the right note. We didn't have a great week, football week this last week, but we're here to bounce back, man. It wasn't terrible. It was just a lot of up and downs. We're going to get it back, plus interest. If you guys want to join the squad, link is in bio. If you guys were looking for a little buy low there, because we were red hot, bro. To open up the season, we could not miss. Link is in bio if you guys want to join up. Yankees team total over 4 runs. I like that. I like that, brother. Tigers straight up. We talked about Tigers versus Seattle. I'm feeling Seattle in that game. Guys, drop whatever questions y'all have on my last video. I will respond before game time. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for listening to me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.